Hey guys, so in the last video we talked about setting up your company profile. In this video we're going to talk specifically setting up your personal user profile. So how you get there is you just go to settings and then you just click on my profile. In this area you could go ahead and update personal data, you could go update your password, user availabilities, and even set up your calendars, integrations, email two-way sync, which this is probably the most important part. We'll talk about that specifically. And then also other individual parts as well. So in the personal data, I'm just going to go ahead and add a photo. Pretty easy to do, just like setting up your Facebook profile or any other social media profile. Your first name and last name, so this is what it actually will show up if you use variables inside your emails to show up your first or last name. This is also how your other users are going to see you as well, including your photo. Now, please note that your photos is not going to be publicly seen outside the software. Now, inside the software, yes, you'll definitely see your personal profile image. So just an FYI if you're worried about that. Email and phone, these are also very important. One, this will be your login email to log into the software, and it'll be the email used for two-step verification. So if you need to change that two-step verification or change this email for variable settings, then you just update it right here. Phone number, same thing. This is also the part that's going to set up your two-step verification. And if you have your phone number set up to go to your personal your number on your user account, it will go to that number set in here. Now the nice thing is, if you have like a business phone number that has an extension as well, you could go ahead and put that extension, and any calls that comes to your tracking number that goes directly to you, it will bypass the extension or the call header, or the VIR, or whatever it's called, the call tree. That's what it is, the call tree. And then it allows you to just go bypass the call tree and makes the extension and goes directly to you. The calendar, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later on, but this is specifically for any type of technicians that goes out into the fields, lawyers that have to schedule appointments for their individual selves, accountants, and anything else, or instructors specifically, teachers. Those would be something that you might want to have a personal calendar for yourself rather than using an overall calendar where everyone is used. That will come in handy. We'll talk about that specifically, but if you're using one calendar for everything, then you might not actually need that calendar connected to each individual. Enable signature on all outgoing messages. So this is where you actually add your signature for your email. So that way, if you ever send an email through the software, it will automatically add your email into those conversations. So I'm just going to grab this really fast because I had it right here. Paste. Fix the settings a little. Sometimes it likes to add extra spaces. And you could always test this afterwards just to see if you like everything. And there we go. Let's see what type of button this is. I'm going to go ahead and remove this and change it to my new one. Yep, perfect. I'll go ahead and change that link right here. Now, obviously, this is all preference on this part. Perfect. Awesome. Now I got this. And include the signature before quoted text and replies. So, for example, if I wanted to reply to an email, I'm just going to click on a client. Let's say this one right here. I want to do a reply. It will either show up at the top or below the thread. So, if you chose include the signature before quoted text and replies, it will show up at the top right here. If you have it unselected, what will happen is your signature will go underneath the thread as well. So that's still a preference as well. I'm just going to go ahead and click on include the signature before quoted text and reply and update the profile. The next part is integration. So let's say you want to include or connect your Outlook calendar, your iCloud calendar, or even Zoom into the software, this is where you're going to do that specifically, especially if you use an Outlook calendar or iCloud calendar. This is where you'll do that, so that way any type of appointments that are set inside the software will automatically be added into those calendars as well. I personally use Google Calendar, so I will actually be setting it up at a different location. But if you use these two types, I would recommend it. If you use Zoom for like video recording or video calls, this is something that you probably want to set up, so that way you can set up your Zoom meeting links inside this section right here, user availability. And be able to connect quickly and easily. Email two-way sync is select your email provider. You could actually set up your emails to go into the software, so that way you're keeping all your conversation that you need to have. Now, it will not grab all your emails. That's very important that you need to know. If you set this up, don't worry, it won't allow all your emails to go through the software for all the other users to see. What it will actually do is any contacts that is in this software as a lead or sales, anyone in the contact section, if you send them an email specifically through your Gmail, it will actually only show those types of conversation inside the software, not all your other conversations that you have. So if you're talking to vendors or if you're talking to users inside the office, if they're not in the contact section, you don't have to worry about it, because obviously you don't want that type of information going out for all the other users to see. Now, the other part that makes this nice is if you actually send an email through the software, it will literally send the email as you. So if I click in here and try to click on connect, I could actually connect my Oren@overpowermarketing.com email and then continue. And there we go, we have it connected. And then auto BCC sync, you can set this up. To be honest, I have not seen any reason why to use this yet, unless you want to have a specific conversation that you're not sure that will go into the software. But 9 out of 10 times it will show up, especially if you have this part in there. Now, if you don't have this set up, you would have to use this specifically. That's important. So this is mainly for like third-party companies or something like that. If you want to learn more, I would highly recommend clicking on this link so you could actually see different places to look at. So what is email two-way sync, Outlook, Gmail? Some bigger questions is, what is a good one? Does two-way sync only work with individual emails or bulk emails and workflows? So this will actually give you a lot more details on how emails work for all the different types out there. Highly recommend looking at that as well. Next one, this is where you just update your password if you like. User availability. This is where you could actually connect your Zoom account, add a full address. If you have physical meeting at your location, anytime you send out a calendar event, it will actually set up the full address. Or if you want to do a phone call, this is where you're going to put a phone call instead, which will grab whatever your location business profile phone number to be. In this case, I would just do Google Meet. But in this, they didn't give me the option. If I want to do a full address, I could just automatically grab that information. I'll just go ahead and do custom, so that way all I would need to do is just go to Google Meet, new meeting, start an instant meeting, or create a meeting for later. And there we go, we have that meeting link right there. Okay. Now I could have that in there, so if I ever send out a calendar event that needs a Google Meet link, it will have that right there for it. There is another section that you could add this as well, so that way you could actually choose the option Google Meet. Here's where you're going to set your hours. So this goes back to specifically the calendar section as well, allowing you not to book appointment outside your working hours. So this is what you want to do right here. So if you work from 8 to 5 like most people, some people are a little bit different, that's fine. And then copy to all. Now I have 8. I know how to do this correctly. There we go. Copy to all. 8 to 5 all the way down. Now I could update the setting. Once again, calendar configurations, we'll talk about that a little bit more, only because I have the calendar section. And that's it. That's all you really need to know. The biggest section is obviously the integration. This is how you add Zoom, or if you use something other than Google Calendar, you can set up your Outlook calendar and iCloud calendar as well. The two-way sync is probably the most important section on this page. Making sure that you set that up so whenever you send emails to the software, it will actually come from your email rather than an email that looks like yours until they actually click on it and it shows a bunch of characters after your first name, or at overpowermarketing.com dot a bunch of random characters, as you can see right here. That's an example of what it would look like. And that's it. I hope this video helps. Thank you so much.